or it depends on if you're a crife or not, grace or favor, is when an opportunity comes along and you are prepared for it. Well, Desmond Washington usually has some of these words in his quotes. And this morning, we know that we must always be prepared. Well, good morning to all of you and welcome to the AM Show. And as usual, we have interesting segments, all prepared, thought about just for you. Coming up on the show today, we'll bring you the latest news highlights. We'll bring you the latest dose of the morning news. We'll look at the various online portals, and we'll also look at some of the dominant front page stories. Through traffic.com.gh, we're in a position to bring to you the latest traffic points and intersections in the city, through which if you're making entry, you're coming to work, or you're going to various destinations, as you make entry into Accra, you can use to make sure that, well, you get to your destinations just around the same time that you estimated. Benedict also is leading the sports team this morning. They'll bring to us the latest sports headlines, and we know some of the sports headlines this morning have been fascinating. Lionel Messi is still making waves, but we also know that in Europe, a lot more has to be said about some of the great teams that are preparing as far as football is related. And also, we'll continue our daily eye tips for you. It's also to ensure that your eye and that part of the body that makes you see is healthy. And the segment, as always, is brought to you by Dr. Agawal's Eye Hospital. It's located just down the road, just at the Tesano Junction, not very far from here. So we'll have many other things for us to take a look at. Your eye, if you can see, is also your way of securing yourself. And it says, stop searching for your glasses. Refractive error could be the difficulty that you're facing. Rather, go to Dr. Agawal's Eye Hospital and get some of the latest eye treatment methods that they have. It's quite very soothing, very affordable as well. Dr. Agawal's Eye Hospital. If you have good eyes, it means also you can have the best state of security. You know, it means you're well aware of yourself. And talking about security, we'll be having a discussion on the state of security in Ghana, bearing in mind the recent spate of assault witnessed so far. It appears there's some level of mistrust brewing between the national security agencies we have, the police, etc., and us, the ordinary Ghanaians or civilians. But there are questions that we have to ask. How do we deal with these escalating incidents that have been reported? We'll also explore avenues in tackling the renewed conflict that we're witnessing, especially the Chireponi conflict, which so far has resulted in 3 deaths, whilst we're also told, based on the report we have authenticated, that some 1,800 persons so far have been displaced. So this is what we decided to do. The West African Network for Peace Building, they're marking 20 years of their existence, but also they are the focal point for us to do great discussions on security. They will be here in the studio. What a way for us to open up that great discussion about 20 years of the West African Network for Peace Building, and also have a zoning or a focus on the Chireponi conflict, another conflict as we report in our country. Well, there's a question I have to pose to you. Do you know that chemical fertilizer produces about 300 times more harmful chemicals than carbon emissions? Because they really cause harm not only to you, but also to the climate. And that's why we're seeing all the changes around. And it may not only be from cars or aeroplanes, but also from our farms. Because farmers use a lot of chemical fertilizers. And especially if you've been monitoring the report in the United States, there's been a big chemical or weedicide and fertilizer producing company called Monsanto. Already, it's the second time in 6 months that a court has given an award to somebody who brought a case before that court against that company over the weedicides that they were producing. But fertilizers also tend to produce a lot of chemicals that are harmful to the body. And so today, we'll tell you how some Ghanaian farmers have adopted a good technology, that's the agroecology methods, that is helping them solve the problem of climate change and the effects as a result of the use of fertilizers and the harmful chemicals that are emitted on their farms, but also in the greater environment. But all these discussions are being dovetailed into how we can make sure that we produce healthy foods. And also, in commemoration of this year's World Tuberculosis Day, which is falling on March 24. I believe that will be the Sunday. We're bringing to you an interesting conversation with various health experts. We're having some interaction with the principal nursing officer at the chest department of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, plus other medical practitioners at the Achimota Hospital. Remember, this year's theme is It's Time. Find the people living TB. And we have to tell you some great background we have around this. I had that interaction. And we're also getting to know that apparently world leaders at the last General Assembly meeting of the UN decided to commit themselves to funding to help prevent TB in at least 40 million people across the world, especially in developing countries like Ghana and the rest of Africa. But are they committed to it? What do we need to do to ensure that we have preventive treatment of tuberculosis? Packed segments, packed show, but not without great entertainment. And talking about entertainment, we have AM Showbiz, and it's brought to you by Wake Purified Water. Please make sure that you always are interacting with us, and a better way for you to do that is always log on to our Facebook page, JoyNews on TV. We are always broadcasting live, or better use the term streaming live on Facebook. And please go search for JoyNews on TV. We also have a Twitter handle, and we're also streaming live through our YouTube channel, Major Online TV. We have great information for you, but we have to bring you the latest news we have in the studio. Stay with us. It's going to be an interesting show.